Hi, you guys. Welcome to week 8 of the course. It's midterm week. Woohoo! Let's see. Before we talk about that, though, I want to go over some of your readings and abstracts. The articles for this week were kind of interesting and not very complicated. So, thankfully, most of y'all's abstracts were fantastic and right on. So, very, very good. For those of you guys who did the Jack Weatherford reading about Bolivia, in fact, it seems like most of you guys did. That was one of the two. The best abstracts were the ones that brought out the mechanisms about how it happens that demand for something in the West or in the US or Europe can impact such a small village. And then also the conditions of migrant workers. So again, the ones that brought out sort of just the mechanisms and the processes of how this happened were great. If you weren't sure about these, or if you need a review on what those mechanisms and sort of the processes were, look at Becca's abstract. Becca, really good job in talking about sort of these mechanisms of decline. Just to review some of your abstracts, let's see. Corinne, nice job pointing out the connections with the Sasson reading about global women earlier in the year. Lindsay, really nice parallel with the Nigrin, the reading about Nicaragua from earlier in the year. Lindsay points out that the effects of the global on the local can be the exact same regardless of whether it's a legal or an illegal kind of activity, right? So Corinne and Raul, both of you guys bring up a really good point that this article doesn't really talk much about, if at all, about what's often called the meso level, and that's the role of the government. So as sort of this mid-level potential mediator between a micro level and a macro level. Raul, while I'm on it, you're busted, publicly shamed for submitting a late abstract. Myra, you also bring out the fact that, yeah, this is a little bit depressing. So, yeah, I fully agree. It's not a really cheery kind of article. Pam Graham, the Dominicans in New York City. Nicole, you asked the question about why would people go to this length of staying involved in the sending country or the country of origin if they're not planning on going back? Look at the other abstracts, because I think a lot of people bring up why people do. I mean, there are identity reasons, and there's political capital reasons, there's family reasons, and then the social network. There are social network kinds of reasons. Brendan, in particular, you bring up a really good point about how having this strong national host country or sending country identity and activity can actually give you political clout in the receiving country or in the country where you are now. So I thought that was an excellent point. Oh, and anyway, that is very typical of transnationalism and studies about transnationalism, because that sort of perspective or that, I mean, taking that into consideration just was not done in previous kinds of studies. So only a couple of you guys did the Hagen reading, deciding about Mayans in Houston. I get it. Imagine you guys are a little bit Mayas in the U.S. out, Mayan in the U.S. out. But it was nice to have a cheerful kind of perspective. For me, the best thing that this article did was to highlight the roles of women in the community as these reproducers of identity, of Mayan identity. All right, so for this week, it's midterm week. You need to finish the Mahler reading. You should only have 2 chapters left, and then watch this video. It's a really short 30-minute video by Alicia Recruz. You might remember she's the author of the content in this course. Yeah, it's about Alicia's fieldwork in Chancom. It's a little Mayan village just about an hour or 2 outside of Cancun. I find it really intimate. A lot of Alicia's fieldwork I really love when she writes about it because, or depicts it like in this movie, because she's really good at sort of depicting this quiet intimacy of everyday life. And if you guys are interested in this area, our department, well, for one, Alicia, it seems like every year or 2, she's always taking students down, graduate students down to Chancom as part of a field school. And our department has actually gotten really involved in a village probably 20-30 minutes away from this. Both of these villages are around Chichen Itza. So, yeah, anyway, the village nearby that people in my department, other people in my department have gotten involved with is called Yashuna. So yeah, anyway, if you guys are interested in this area, there's usually ways to get involved. About your midterm, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory in the lesson itself, in the next page of this. I tried to give you guys some ideas for potential topics. Corinne asked if it was single-spaced or double-spaced. Double-spaced is fine. So yeah, just submit it in the homework. You see, I didn't make a discussion folder, so just submit it in the midterm folder, which I put on the home page. Okay, I guess that's it. Hope you guys have a good week. Let me know if you have any questions at all, okay? Let me know if I can answer anything or clear up anything, all right? Take care. Talk to you later. Bye.